Hi guys, so I am going live on Monday. I don't know. I'm having fun with technology this morning. So this is Make It Happen Monday. So I am Tasha. I'm a founder of Talk to Tasha, which is the Rescue 911 self-help person who pulls social workers who are impacted by distress, compassion, fatigue, and burnout, because I was one of them. The thing about social workers, we are working, grinding, doing what we love to do. And sometimes resentment set in because you're just undervalued, underappreciated, undercompensated. So you really don't have time to step outside of your long hours to look at other opportunities in which you can do the things you love and be rewarded in such a way that sparks and restore the rhythm back into your life. So that's where Talk to Tasha come in. I help you to relax, restore that passion if you've lost it, and refocus so that you can get in alignment. And I'm over here in a place that has a lot of stuff going on. So I will roll up the window. Okay. So that's what I'm all about. Serving social workers near and abroad, reminding you that we are to reshape the culture of social work. As it stands now, you guys might agree that our profession is really connected to the community having false perceptions of what we do. In addition to that, we have a lot of demands placed on us when we are in the workplace, where there's more and more expectations, less compensation, less time, and then you find yourself going home very, very tired and distressed. If that's you, you can do a thumbs up. You may relate to that. So part of what we do at Talk, with Talk to Tasha is getting you to a space to unplug and reflect on what's going on with you. So I always have an analogy that seems to resonate with folks. If you're at the gym, you're on a treadmill, you're working out, you're doing everything your trainer is asking of you to do, but yet you're still not getting the results that you work so hard for. In fact, your trainer is secretly and subtly adding extra pounds to you, if that's even possible. I'm just giving you an example. So imagine him or her actually packing on more and more things on this treadmill, and yet he's telling you, do more, run faster, eat this, cut out this, eat more protein, cut carbs, all these different expectations that are competing for your time. That's how it feels, or that's how I experienced when I was working in child welfare at some degree. It started off, I was super, super passionate, love doing what I do, and I still do love the work. But when I got to a point, and I don't know if you guys can relate, in whatever system you're working with social work, we're dealing with human behaviors, which is very, very complex. And so with that being said, it started to feel like that gym analogy that I just shared with you. Constantly having more forms and less time with the people. Constantly having more expectations and less time with our clientele. Constantly having to run here, there, and everywhere. And maybe you're even not healthy physically and mentally to keep up with all of that. So you're in the treadmill, you're stuck down in the cubicle doing mass reports that turns around that probably need to be edited. So it starts to feel like you're back in college with minus the financial aid for some of us who were able to get stipends and all that. So you're having more and more expectations, but there's no real reward. And so that's where bitterness steps in. Wondering how in the heck is my degree working for me. Can say that you're and probably additional bills that you may have in the house. And so that's where I come in. I went through some life storms. I'm like, who does the Care Bears of the world go to when we are distressed? Because we're always helping everyone else. And so sometimes we don't know how to reach out for help because we don't want to be vulnerable. We want to say that we have it all together. But quite frankly, many of us have suffered working in this work without stepping back, taking a time out to unplug, to say, wait, let's take a time out. The very, very things that we teach in our clients, sometimes we need to teach ourselves. What do they circle of support look like? We talk to them about domestic violence and what the the circle of violence look like. And so when you start looking at your behaviors and your patterns and the things that you're tolerating in your life, even on a professional level, even in your home environment, you can really be honest with yourself. Are you setting boundaries with yourself? Are you in a circle of violence where you're not maybe physically violent, but emotionally violent to yourself in terms of not valuing yourself enough to show up in a room to say, this is what I need, and this is what I expect, and this is what I want. And if it cannot be delivered, then what do you do with that information? Do you stay on that job for 15, 30, 20 years? Bitterness, tired, stressed out, and then you're congregating with people around lunch with the same feeling of exhaustion? So everybody's feeding off each other tiredness, and nothing is really being done. That's where I come in, showing you how to live the life that you want and not the life that's scheduled. We're living in a world of total digital distraction, right? And so you're distracted by this, you're distracted by that. You probably have, we're human. As a social worker, what do you do when you have clients that's going through a divorce, and here you are going through relationship problems yourself? You're going through a divorce yourself, but you can't even speak on it because you have to go to work to feed those babies or to take care of the things that you have to take care of. So what happens is you're broken on as well as anyone else, because this is a human experience. It's not dictated on whether or not you have a different level of social classism, if you will. So that's where I come in. I help you to clarify what it is that you want. And how do you get there? If you love where you're working and you just don't know how to have that conversation with your, then that's where I come in. I guide you in making sure that you step on the value that you bring to your agency, knowing the value. Get with me. So it's time for it's time for you to start taking those same to be okay with being vulnerable. Okay. And so that's where I come in as an online bestie, a coach that guides social workers to a place that they deserve. And that is to live, and to live outside of all the stress that comes along with our jobs. And how we're going to change the culture of our work is stand in our authority and understand that we have so many different facets of this work that we can work in. And we need to match up with our passions in our work and not necessarily be stockpiled. And there's nothing worse than working in a position that, remember those Mondays being so very dreadful, because it's reminding you that you have to be stuck at a job or a desk or at the court or in the hospital setting, school setting. You having to be in a place that you really don't want to be connected to. You're emotionally disconnected from that position because it's not where your heart is centered at. So Mondays become a dreadful day. It reminds you of all the sacrifices you made in college. Some of us have gone to night school, just bust out lots of papers, research, and all those different things, only to get to a point where it's Monday and because you're reminded of you're not enough, you're not doing enough, you're not fast enough, you're not typing enough, you're not meeting the court deadlines enough. So you're reminded of what you're not, when you know within yourself that you have done everything that you possibly can with the energy and the expertise that you have. And so no, we're not going to tolerate as social workers having that as a norm. You know how in child welfare we have the crisis hotline, they call it, when people call in from the community and they report suspected child abuse or neglect, and they call this hotline, and there's some screening tools that the Careline hotline workers take in when they're asking questions and all those things. So just think of Talk to Tasha as a hotline for social workers impacted by compassion fatigue and distress. So folks call me and they say, hey, this person hasn't taken vacation in a long time. This person is going through hell and high water, but they're still showing up. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to your body, and nor is it ethically fair to your clients to be serving from a space of half empty. That's like trying to go across country on a quarter of a tank. You're going to run out. And that's why some of our bodies and some of the medical ailments that we're seeing in our social workers is at a wreck in their jobs when they physically shouldn't be there because they're sick and they have some serious medical situations going on with the medical premium. That certain procedures, a lot of limitations, and in some Medicare offer more than what our working folks have on insurance. So that's a whole nother conversation. But today is just really all to act. Dreading going in. Some of you may have called in, reinforcing what you're not doing, tell paperwork of you. We know on and on and on. To make it that far, you're sure even get on the step to do your retirement dance because you all plagued with illnesses that won't allow you to mobilize and move and groove to this thing called where I want to let you know that I am that one that says it's time out. It's time for me to just set back on some clarity, with some rhythm, with some things that will allow me to compensate and monetize what I absolutely love to do. And why I'm in a city today on a Monday, go into an appointment doing what I love to do, double of what I was getting compensated a regular streamlined job. Show you how to do the same thing as if that's you. If you're the type that intentions on leaving because I'm vested, I have a job. Because we do want you to retire a space of healthiness and not retire having to go right from retirement to a hospital dormitory or something like that. So talk the number 2, Tasha. Go ahead and give yourself permission to be happy. Take an appointment for yourself. Book a clarity session. It's all about getting clear. Okay, and that's what I'm here for. So I am Tasha of Talk to Tasha, where we make power moves and breakthroughs for social workers impacted by distress, compassion, fatigue, and burnout, and how we move you through pain to purpose, from breakdown to breakthrough. As we get together, we kick our shoes off, put our hair in a ponytail, and we pull out those skills that you have in you, and we're going to highlight those skills and show you how you can show up very, very different as a social worker caregiver. But it's going to take you to make that first step. Get on talktotasha.com, book me for a clarity session, and let's get working. Let's reshape and reframe the culture of social worker with the winner in you exposed. Until we meet again, stay connected, because I'm not going anywhere. I am here to gas up social workers who's burnt out so that you can have the tools, works that you're doing, so you can do the degree that you deserve. On your lunch hours today, map out some ideal social work job. What would that look like? Map that out, sense of where you're at right now in your career. Talk the number 2, Tasha.com. I will put it in the link, and I'm looking forward to making breakthroughs. I love social work. Most things social work. Some of the things we don't like, we've changed those things because that's what we do. We're change agents, right? Until then,